The kingdom of my divine will in the midst of creatures. Book of Heaven, Volume 36, Part 10. August 6, 1938. Exchange of life between the divine will and the human. Victory of Jesus. There is no greater offense than subtracting oneself from the divine will. The speaking creation. Divine heartbeat and breath. Necessity for God to speak to the creature. I feel the need to give myself continuously to the divine will. I am like the little girl who looks for the lap of her mother to take shelter in it, and stays there safe, all abandoned in her arms. But as I was thinking this, my beloved Jesus, visiting my little soul, all goodness, told me, "My little daughter of my will, you look for your shelter in me, and I look for my shelter in you, to enjoy my creature and rest in her, so that her love may defend mine from all the offenses of the creatures. You must know that each time the creature enters my will to do her acts, I give her my divine life, while she gives me her human life. Therefore, she remains provisioned with a divine life for each act done in my will, and I remain honored and glorified, surrounded by many human lives, since one act in my will must be complete. I give all myself, not keeping anything of my Supreme Being, and she gives me all of her human being. What good does the creature not receive, then, by possessing many of my divine lives? As she keeps repeating her acts, so many of my lives are added, and I give virtue to free her life, to be able to say, so many lives I gave her, as many lives she gave me. I can say that I find all my satisfaction only when I see her giving me her life in every instant, giving her will. Seeing her giving me her human will is my greatest triumph, and, taken by love, I sing my victory. Victory that costs me my life and a wait of around 6,000 years, during which, with so many anxious, bitter, ardent sighs, I yearned for the return of the human will into mine. Having obtained it, I feel the need to rest and sing my victory. Therefore, there is no more beautiful joy that she can give me than living in my will, and there is no greater pain she can give me than subtracting herself from it. I feel this offense coming in the sun, in the wind, in heaven, even in my womb. To see the great gift of the human will that I gave to the creature, and that was to serve for the exchange of love and life between me and her, being converted into a deadly weapon to wound me. What pain! Now the soul who comes to live in my will makes such a harsh pain disappear. How then could I not give all of myself in her power, and give her what she wants? Then he added, My love for who lives in my fiat is such that as the creature feels the need to breathe, eat, move, I feel the need to form one single life with her. Since my will, living in her, transforms her in my breath, my heartbeat, my motion, my food. See then how much I need her permanent union with me and inside of me. Otherwise, I would feel the breath, motion, heartbeat, and food of my love missing from the whole of creation. Oh, how bad I would feel. Since one who lives in my will is inside our Supreme Being, she is the speaking, moving, palpitating creation, who, in the name of all created things, brings us the food of love that all should give us. We can say that our love feeds all created things. Therefore, we feel the need to receive the return of love, not to remain on an empty stomach. And only one who lives in our will, who embraces all and loves us for all, can feed us with her love in return. How beautiful it is to see the creature picking up our love, spread through the whole creation. Even love that has not been taken because of human ingratitude. Then she brings it to us, to give us the food of love, in the name of everyone and everything, enchanting the whole heaven. And we welcome her as the bearer of all our works, returning our love. In her we can repeat all our marvels. Then, with more tender affection, he added, My daughter, our love for one who lives in our divine fiat is such that it is easier for a mother to separate herself from her daughter than for us to be away from this creature. We cannot do it. Our will unites her to us and transforms her in us, making her want what we want and do what we do. As soon as she enters it, my will carries her everywhere, giving her a place in all created things, to keep her everywhere and always united, and to say, In how many ways do you love her? It is impossible to be without her. In order to do it, we would have to separate ourselves from our will. But we cannot do this either. Therefore, I give her her place in the starry heaven. Oh, how beautiful it is to keep her with me in that blue vault, in the infinite extension of heaven. No ending point can be seen. I tell her the story of our eternal love that has no beginning and can have no end. Neither can it change at all. Since our love never ceases, we take the creature from all sides, from above, from below, from the right and from the left, to stud her with our love. Just as heaven covers and hides the whole world under its star-dotted vault to keep it sheltered and covered, so our immutable love, beyond heaven, keeps everyone covered and hidden in the heaven of our love. We feel the need to tell the creature how much and in how many ways we love her. and in order to be loved, she forms refreshment for our love. As she loves us, though she is small, she gives us a heaven of love, and with her repeated acts of love, we feel as though studded by many stars that pour on us love, love, love. See then how necessary it is for our heart to give her a place in every created thing, to tell her the distinct love story that each created thing contains. I give her the place in the sun, and oh, how many things I tell her about our Supreme Being, our inaccessible light, investing all with its ardent love, investing and then hiding in every fiber of the heart, in every thought and word. With my light, my balm, I purify and embellish the creature, forming in her, with my light brighter than the sun, my life of love. And she feels my light. Through this light, she wants to enter into the most intimate hiding places of our Supreme Being, to love us and to be loved. How beautiful it is to find one who loves us. Our love finds its refuge, its rest, its expression, its return. Therefore, we give her a place everywhere, because in each created thing we have one of our love secrets to tell her. How many things we still have to say, and if the creature does not live in our will, she won't understand us, forcing us to be silent. Now, you must know that as the creature does her acts in my will, many suns arise. And since one act in my will is so great that it cannot be without doing good to all, these rising suns run in the middle of the peoples, bringing to some the kiss of light, to some strength, to some they put darkness to flight, to some they prepare the way, to some others they call to good with the voice of the source of light. An act in my will just cannot be without producing great goods. As soon as the sun rises at the horizon to become, with its light, light for every eye, it runs to mature the plant, give color to the flowers, purify the air, to give itself to all, almost renewing and strengthening the earth, forming its joy and feast. So, if it did not rise, the earth would wear mourning, bursting into tears. More than sun is an act in my will. Its light runs and benefits all, renewing and strengthening all in its light, except those who would not want to receive it. And even if they did not want to receive it, they would be forced to receive the good of the light and of the sun, forced to feel its heat by the empire of the light. Such is the empire of one act in my Fiat. It cannot be without operating prodigies of grace and immense goods. Therefore, one who lives in our will does all. She embraces everyone and gives us everything. If we want love, she gives us love. If we want glory, she gives us glory. If we want to speak, we have one who listens. If we want to do great works, we have the one in whom to do them, who will give to us in return. This is why I want you always in our will. Never leave it. Fiat. August 12th, 1938. When the creature enters the divine will, heaven lowers itself and the earth rises to exchange the kiss of peace. The love of God in manifesting the truth. How everything becomes life. How all created things are members of Jesus. Varieties of love. The divine will is always around me, wanting to invest my acts with its light, to lay its life in them. It seems to me that it is attentive to the extent of persecuting me with love and light, because it wants, in everything I do, that I ask for its life. Oh, how happy I am in feeling persecuted with love and light by the Supreme Fiat. Then my sweet Jesus, surprising me, said, "So you see, my daughter, in wanting that the creature live in my will, my love reaches such an excessive point that I even persecute her with love and light. Love eclipses all evils in such a way that, seeing only my will, the creature abandons herself in it and makes us do what we want. Love attracts her, delights her, so that she would let us win. You must know that as the creature enters our will to form her act, heaven lowers itself while the earth rises. So they meet. What a happy encounter! Heaven, feeling transported to earth by the creative strength of the divine Fiat, kisses the earth, the human generations, and at any cost wants to give to them what it possesses, to content the divine volition that brought it on earth, because it wants to reign in all. As the earth is being raised to heaven, the creatures feel an unknown strength that leads to good, a celestial air that imposes itself on all, making them breathe a new life. An act in my will is almost incredible. These acts shall form the new day. The human generations shall feel as though being renewed through them, rejuvenated in good. They will form the disposition to dispose the human generations to receive their life, to let it reign. These acts of the creature, done in my volition, will be the endowment, the potent preparation, the most effective means to obtain a good so great. After this he added, "My daughter, our love is almost unbelievable. When we have to manifest a truth regarding our will, first, we love it within ourselves. We make it easier. we adapt it to the human intelligence so that the creature can easily understand it and make it her own life. We provide it with our love, and then we make it known, as a sweetheart who wants to give himself to her, as life, feeling the need to be formed in her. But not yet satisfied, we purify the human intelligence. We invest it with our light, and we renew it, so that it may know our truth, kiss it, enclose it within itself, and give it all the freedom to form its life, remaining transformed in that truth. So, each one of our truths brings our divine life into the creature as a lover that loves and wants to be loved. Our love is such that we adapt ourselves to the human conditions to facilitate this knowledge, since if we know each other, it is easier to win the human will to ourselves. It will have the interest in possessing its God. Without knowledge, the ways are closed, the communications broken, and we remain as the God far away from the creatures, even though we are inside and outside of them, and they remain far away from us. Nobody can possess a good without knowing it. Therefore, we want to make known that everything becomes divine life within one who lives in the divine will, in everything she does, thinking, speaking, working, walking, loving. My Fiat, possessing its creative virtue, lays its life down and thinks, speaks, works, walks, and loves, forming the operating, the speaking creation, using that creature to continue its creation or to do even more beautiful things. So, creation is not finished, but still continues in the souls who live in our will. And if the order, beauty, and power of our works can be seen in the creation, then the love, order, and beauty of our creative virtue will be seen in the creature, repeating our divine lives each time the creature gives us her acts to let us work. The creature is life. It operates differently than creation. Therefore, we feel an irresistible love to form our lives within her. Oh, how we fling ourselves! How happy we are! How our love finds its rest, and our will its completion, which is forming our life in her. The works and the steps of those who do not live in our will are instead without life, like painted pictures that cannot receive any life. They can neither give life, nor can they produce any good. There cannot be life or good without my will. Then I was adding my acts in the divine will, after having had Holy Communion, when my sweet Jesus told me, "How beautiful it is when I descend, as sacrament, in the heart, and I find it in my will. I find everything in it. I find my mother and queen, and I feel that I receive again the glory, as if I were incarnating myself again. I find all my works surrounding me, honoring me, loving me. And since my will circulates as blood and palpitates in all created things, they are united with me, as if they were limbs originating from me, remaining in me. Therefore, everything I did on earth and all created things are like my arms, my feet, my heart, my mouth. They love me and glorify me in an infinite way. For the creature living in my will, all that is mine is hers too. So she can give me my living humanity to love me, to keep me separated and protected from all. She can give me the love I had in creating the sun. What specialty of love this light contains! It is filled with many different and innumerable effects of sweetness, colors, and fragrances. In each effect, there is a distinct love of mine, and you can see it in the varieties of sweetness. Each one is different from the other. My love is insuperable, not satisfied with letting man taste only one sweetness of its love, delighting him with one color, one single fragrance. It wanted to place many different sweetnesses, to drown and feed him with my love. My primary food was my love. All other things came in secondary order. So the sun, that does so much good to the earth, lays its light under man's steps. It fills his eye with light. It invests him completely, following him everywhere. It is my love that runs within its light, and loving him, lets itself be tread upon by his steps. My love fills his eye with light, investing him completely, following him everywhere. That light contains my infinite extensions of love, my love that languishes, that wounds and enraptures, my love that burns, that sweetens everything, that gives back life to all, my love that takes the creature from every side, carrying her in its arms. Look, my daughter, look at this light, and even you will not be able to count the many varieties of my love. If you will live in my will, the sun will be yours, a part of you. You will be able to give me as many varieties of love, or as many as I have given to you. All created things are my members. Heaven and each star are distinct loves of mine toward the creature. The wind, a limb of mine, does nothing other than blow my distinct love. Now it blows to her the freshness of my love. Now the caress of my love. Now it blows to her with my impetuous love. Now it brings her the refreshment of my love. Even the drops of water in the sea squeeze together to never cease to murmur the varieties of love with which I love the creatures. Even in the air they breathe, I send with each breath a distinct I love you. Therefore, descending in the sacrament, I bring created things with me as my own members, together with enchanting scenes of my love, so diverse and various, and I place them inside the creature like an army, to love her and to be loved. How hard and painful it is to love and not be loved. So live always in my will, and it will present to you the many ways with which I loved you. In this way, you will love me the way I want you to. Fiat. You have reached the end of the Book of Heaven, Volume 36, Part 10. Fiat.